Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. I've been thinking a lot about pro tennis and the success of tennis players winning a slam. I personally feel that if you do not obtain your first Grand Slam win in your teens, maybe 20, 21 years old, it'd be super hard or you'd never win one. Yeah, stay tuned. All right, ready?
Out.
The ball was in! You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious! The ball hit the paint. Paint flew up. Did you not see that? Are you blind? You need an eye doctor. You cannot be serious. Oh, wait. I have SwingVision.
The ball is in.
All right, guys. So in the modern era, in my modern era, I would think with the modern rackets, we're counting 1990 forward, but they call it the modern slam era. I think it's 68 and on, 1968 and on. In 68, the winners were still in their late 20s to 30s. Which was,
Laver won the Grand Slam in 69.
Right? And he was, 38 or something like that?
Yeah, and he won it earlier. I don't remember what year earlier he won it.
Right. I can find out right now. I
think he did it twice.
Rod Laver, 29 years old, 1968. That was the last time he won. But he was...
Didn't he win the Slam in 69? Or was it 68?
Oh, wait, sorry. No, 68's not here. Oh, it's going by ages. Sorry. He probably did. I just don't have it on my list here.
I could be wrong, too. Sorry, Rod.
Sorry, Rod.
Mr. Laver, apologies.
Sorry, Mr. Laver.
Got that
you
wrong.
are good, buddy. Okay, here we go. So, he was, 29 years old. So he must have been 30 if he did win. Ken Rosewall won it in 68, French, at age 33. Now, fast forwarding a little bit here, we have Bjorn winning at 18 years old, French Open in 74. And then let's see if there's any other big names here. I'm seeing Vitas Gerulaitis, 23 years old, 77. The 20-year-old Johnny Mack winning his first U.S. Open.
Who did go to Stanford.
79. Did he go 4 years?
No.
He went 1 year, if that.
I think so.
Okay. So my argument is, I think if you go to college, you risk not winning a slam. Ever winning a slam. Can you think of a single person?
We just came off of a historical run of Fed, Joker, right, and Rafa that dominated the slam. So,
right? To my point.
Right, but my point also is we'll see what happens as that era passes on and what the new generation will do. Will that still continue with the young? Will there be somebody who sneaks into one? How old was Stan Wawrinka when he won, or Chilik?
Old.
Or right?
Old, yeah.
Right.
But But I feel like for continued, I mean, you can win your like the one and only one.
You can get a
you
one.
know?
You can be
Yeah.
I take that.
The stars can align. Everybody breaks their freaking leg, or eat something bad the night before, or something like that. You know, things can happen.
Sure.
You know, but I'm just saying in a normal, normal slam. You know, that's what I'm saying is like a college person. Who went at least 3 years. I can't name a single person that
Didn't
won a
Isner
slam.
go 4? No, I did win a slam, but
He
I think
was-
he went 4.
Yeah, but so does
Would you
Stevie
take
Johnson.
that career?
Oh, I'd take the career.
Sure.
But I'm saying is like he didn't win a slam. That's the thing. You go to college, you ain't winning a slam. Because what I'm trying to say is you have that it factor. You know, it's special. You know, the Alcaraz, right? Immediately come on the scene, right? Immediately winning a slam. And it may have been that I haven't heard of him before, but at a young under 20 age, he wins a slam. Right?
Very impressive.
Right. Johnny Mack at 20, right? That's the thing. When you taste that success, you have that it factor.
Well, you can also have a lot of success in the juniors. You could win a junior Wimbledon or whatever, and then it takes a little bit, usually, to acclimate, to playing older, more seasoned, more experienced guys. And,
right.
It
the
takes
speed's
a little bit.
different. Yeah. Yeah. But the people who can do it, they usually do it quickly. They have the learning thing is faster.
Yeah.
It's like LeBron James going from high school to the pros and almost not skipping a beat. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Is
We're not all built like him.
Right.
Or have the desire to be great.
Right.
Like, I mean, he was projected to be great, and he lived up to that and surpassed it, which is incredible.
Well, he was also a man-child. You know,
correct.
So you were born with a gift.
Yep.
You know?
But there's lots of people born with a gift, but he had the desire and the work ethic.
This is true.
To do it.
This is true. Yeah. So he took the talent that he had, which was already shoulders above everybody else, and just with the drive, he just shot it through the roof.
And hasn't stopped.
Right. Now, 4-year colleges are now paying people now. Now, tennis might be a little low on that ladder there in terms
the
of...
NIL money is not being divvied out to the same level.
Yeah, because...
I don't know.
Since tennis...
I don't know that world, but
tennis
I don't imagine it's getting the same amount as a college quarterback.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. But since there is money being divvied out, tennis is probably a little low on that rung there. But you can pay for a championship tennis program now.
Yep.
But to your point, I mean, tennis don't pay for nothing. They just take in colleges. It's the football, like you said, basketball. And I think that's it.
Those are your main big money.
Pays the bills.
Those are the ones that bring in the biggest dollars.
Right.
Women's college basketball is huge.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is men's basketball, obviously March Madness.
Yep. So, I mean, unless the school gets private.
Unless you have some big time boosters willing to put in a great chunk of change to make their team successful.
Right. So, I mean, they can, but at least they have that opportunity to get paid in college now is kind of what I'm saying on that one. All right, going back to this. Mats Wilander, 17 years old. Yannick Noah at 23. Ivan Lendl at 24. Stefan Edberg was 19.
On his first slam?
Yeah.
Which one does it say what he won?
Australian. 85.
Okay.
Boris Becker, Wimbledon at age 17 and 85.
Boom, boom.
Yes. Pat Cash at 22 years old, 87 Wimbledon. Michael Chang at 17 years old, winning the French. And then here's the anomaly. Andres Gomez, 1990. He was 30 years old winning the French in 90. Pistol Pete, 19 years old, right? 1990 U.S. Open. Okay? So we know how many slams Pete won. 17, I believe it was, right? Am I right? 17?
Fact check that.
I'll fact check.
I think it's 14.
14?
I'd love it to be 17, but I don't think it's that many.
Okay. Whatever it was, it's in the teens. But that's what I'm talking about. Pete is a prime example, right? He comes on the scene, starts with winning slam success, right? At a young age. The it factor. Who else we got? Michael Steek at 22, winning Wimbledon. Jim Courier, 20 years old, 91 French. Let's see, everybody's in their 20s. 30 years old. Peter Korda.
There we go.
Australian Open. 30 years old. Okay? But there are more younger people here than there are older here. And that's kind of Novak, 20 years old, 08. Okay? Now, what do you guys think? Some people just got to go to college just because they need to mature a little bit, but I feel like that hinders you a little bit. But if you don't have the it already, because I feel like I'm around tennis a lot, and I'm around high performance kids that, the parents are trying to determine if their middle school kid is going to go be homeschooled at high school, because they're actually going to try to take a run at it, and is that the right move? Do you
every individual case is different, and
right. If Coach Rob, if your son was the Kalamazoo winner and won Easter Bowl at age 14, okay, like both at the same time, so
right.
2 big time junior tournaments,
I'd be pretty happy.
Okay, yeah, you should be, right? And then goes on to win like a U.S. Open junior tournament. Okay, are we going homeschool? Or are we
He probably already is homeschooled.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's exactly what I'm saying, right? You have to take the chance and see if the it factor is there, if you got your LeBron James, and see what happens at the next level.
Yep.
Right? And if you do have it, you will know probably before they're age 20.
Well, you'll know. Now they could also be in the top 50,
right?
And battling and being close and, looking for their shot.
Right. But I feel like the great ones may hang for a year and a half, and then they kind of catapult. It's
yep.
Yeah, because it's kind of like what just happened with Iyala in the women's side at was it Miami or Indian Wells, one of those tournaments. She was the U.S. Open junior winner, I think twice, and she was like stuck at like 150, 170 in the world, and she beat a bunch of slam winners, and then now she's number 70 in the world, I think at age 17 or 18. The commentators were saying there will be no more easy wins in the first round. Every match will now be a battle. And that's how you know when you have the it factor, right? Because every round is a grind now. Can you, one match at a time, take each person down and learn from the defeats and grind through the wins to win that slam, right? That's the kind of mentality.
It's
that's
the experience.
Yeah.
And there's so much behind the scenes: the travel, the pressure, the financial, all of that is huge that you don't see.
Right.
You just see the ball striking and the playing.
Exactly. No, it's definitely a lifestyle sacrifice by the whole family.
Look at Ben Shelton.
Yeah.
You know.
See, that's one person too. When I
Played in
first
college.
saw him play, I was like, that guy's gonna win a slam.
He can serve you.
That was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
and did he play tennis his whole life every single day? Not really, I don't think. I think he dabbled in and out of it, and you know, obviously has incredible athleticism.
right.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go for it. Let's do it." And he and his dad are on the course, and you know, it'll be fantastic to see where he lands. Look at Taylor Fritz, Tommy Paul. All those guys are pushing and pushing.
Right. I think,
Granted, they're not 18, 19, 20, but they are a little bit older. But with that comes the experience and the.
But that's exactly to my point too. As you age, and as you do not win, as you age, you're eventually going to age yourself out of winning. That's my whole point.
Who won the Women's Australian Open? Madison Keys?
Yeah.
Right? Now, she was that young phenom.
Right.
And struggled and battled and, you know, finally overcame some stuff, and hats off to her.
Yeah.
That's huge.
No. Totally.
And she's older now.
Right. And I'm not saying it can't be done.
No, exactly.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm just trying to think I'm just trying to think of what other side of the story.
Right. It's I feel like it's easier to do it on the women's side than the men's too, because there's Keys, if she's on, I have to say you're not beating her, right? Sabalenka, if she's on, you are not beating her. Okay. There are like 3-4 people on the women's tour that if they're out, anybody can win. Anybody can win. That's what I'm saying. Is like, but on the men's side, it's much more difficult, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so guys, let us know your opinions. Am I correct? I mean, the it factor is definitely a thing, because we've seen in history that if you win in your teens, you probably are going to have a nice long run at the slams. And if you don't, you may never win a slam. Coach Rob, thank you so much.
Sure.
For amusing me with this discussion. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.